Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Kippolicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full tilt boogie. Kippolicious. Good evening, everyone. Twisted Tea. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that schmedium. Twisted Tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Schmedium. Midler. Out in BFE. Out in BFE. At the end of the day, full. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Full tilt boogie.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
Something bad, your hands on the wheel, got a sexy touch. It's enough to make me and my Chevy blush. So long, take it all off of that highway. Turn me on, I'll let you drive, babe. You can take it fast as you want to. Girl, little dirty looks damn good on you. Start me up, Stones on the radio. Girl, I love the way you let go. Long way, short way, in the wrong way. Get off on some 4x4 play.
Flash! This just in. Extra low frequencies detected emanating from the heavens. Saucer-shaped objects confirmed all over the world. Unidentified flying K saucer spotted delivering Kicker's amazing new Comp Q super woofer. Built for precision, built for abuse, built for the future and benefit of mankind. Kicker's new Comp Q woofer leaves audiences astounded and amazed as it reveals subtleties in their favorite music in a way that is sure to make women blush and grown men cry. The surround features Kicker's variable cross-section high-roll design, allowing extended cone travel and excellent cone control. It's firmly attached to the cone, reinforced with our iconic stitching. Betsy Ross would be so proud. The injection molded solo cone and laser X cone brace combined in a single ultra-rigid unit. Venting in the brace relieves performance-robbing back pressure. All this adds up to very low distortion and amazingly clean low bass. The progressive roll blue lace spider adds even more cone control at maximum excursion. The woven tinsel leads are sandwiched between the spider and the lace for durability and long life and to prosper. The spring terminal's heavy-duty square design accepts wires as big as 8-gauge or two 12-gauge wires for multi-sub installations. The high-temp voice coil is rumored to be spun upon the looms of the gods of polyamide fiberglass, along with a reinforced former for high strength and power handling. Now, add colossal magnets, plus a cavernous bump back plate, an extended pole piece created in a single forging, the likes that haven't been seen since the creation of Poseidon's trident. And the result is a driver with superior control and effective heat dissipation that extreme performance demands. The all-new KICKER Comp Q is designed from the ground up to deliver everything you demand from a premium subwoofer. High output, deep, powerful, accurate bass, remarkably small enclosure requirements, stunning good looks, and not to mention the ability to frighten small children when turned up to 11. So there you have it, the all-new KICKER Comp Q subwoofer. Another zenith of innovation and epic majesty from KICKER.
I built my first speaker to be louder. I was playing in a band and the drummer played so loud and the keyboard that I had wouldn't play very loud, and I went to my dad and said, I need a bigger speaker. It's a Fender Bandmaster, it costs $300. He dropped the newspaper. It said, $300? Yeah, but he didn't say no. He said, is it something that we could build? And so that's how I got started building speakers. The thing that I love to see is a product that we made and get to stand back kind of anonymously and watch somebody take a look at it, listen to it, and go, wow. I think that's what really lights my fires, to make products that people enjoy and have fun with. As time went on, I heard people say, you know, KICKER's like a family. I actually didn't set out to do that. I thought it sounded kind of hokey. I thought they were insincere and just saying that. After a few years, I realized, yeah, maybe that's what we've got. And that's the key, is the good people on your team in the band that makes the band really great. Well, I think KICKER is primarily a lifestyle company. That's a little backwards of where I started. I thought we were a technology company and we would make great products, but as time went on, realized that it's about people and helping people to enjoy their life and what they do. And that's what I do, too. So share the love a little bit, I guess.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio. Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as KICKER Performance Audio. Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original KICKER and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. KICKER L7QB8. With roots dating back to KICKER's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless quarter-inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original KICKER, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. KICKER's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features KICKER's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life. At the base of the unit, a pair of custom-formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low-profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, KICKER sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7QB8.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everyone. It's Kip, your host for Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Thank you for tuning in. You know, if I'm on the air, it's 7:30 Central Time right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. You know, we've got a great show planned tonight. We're going to get all into that here in just a little bit. As you know, normally we bring in people as we kind of get to that part of the show, but I wanted John to be able to join me the whole night tonight. So everyone, Mr. John Myers, or as we like to call him in-house, Dr. 12 Volt, will be joining us tonight to get in deep. We have some fantastic demos, and we're going to talk about loaded can enclosures. And John, as you know, that's for everything, not just boats.
Yeah,
I mean,
motorcycles, golf cars, you know, under the hood. But by the way, I just happened to notice that was a stranger logo entry than we usually have.
It is. You know, if any of you tuned in last week, you know, last week was kind of our fall holiday tribute episode, and we had there was some stuff on fire in here, and there was smoke everywhere, and I had trouble breathing.
It was awesome.
It was pretty cool. But that's actually a logo that Ernie and Alita over in our graphics department works with Ernie. They worked up, and it's kind of our twist on that. I thought it was pretty cool, so I told Ernie to, you know, it's still fall. Let's just run it again.
And the cool thing about it is it's not copyrighted since they did it all in-house.
Yeah, I mean, Ernie actually did the music. That if anybody heard the Kip rap, I mean, that's actually music that Ernie put together, and I just recorded vocal tracks that he put to it.
So he can do other things other than order
I have
us around.
no talent. Ernie just made me sound good. And so Ernie put that audio track
thought you
together.
sounded good?
Oh, well, I know I sound bad. But Ernie put that together. The Unmasked things, you know, Lita, that she got direction, but she put that all together. It was pretty cool. So we wanted to run it again for this show. We might run it one more time before we step out of the holiday season here. I mean,
might as well. It's too cool not to.
I think it fits up to Thanksgiving before we get the turkey cooking. So we got that going on. Speak of turkey cooking, as always, you know, we get together as a team, and fortunately Steve and Becky and the entire management team, they allow us to break bread together. We talk about what the show's going to be every Tuesday night. We do that together, sitting over a table, having dinner. And tonight, it's always pulling our hair out, trying to figure, because at this point, is this show 51, Ernie?
Wow.
50,
we're
51.
into Area 51. That is Stranger.
That did fit tonight. Area 51, Stranger Things. That fit like a glove. Well, we won't get into that.
No.
But I do have a white Bronco for sale. But with that said, you know, it's episode 51, Stranger Things. We did have dinner tonight, and we're always trying to figure out what to eat, because at this point, after 51
Burritos
episodes,
and bowls.
We have burritos and bowls tonight, because we've eaten everywhere. I don't think there's a restaurant in Stillwater we haven't eaten at.
They love us.
4 times by now?
At least tonight.
I'm still eating it. It's still in there.
Yeah.
But thank you, Steve, Becky, and the entire management team. We appreciate you for letting us have dinner on the company while we get the show together every Tuesday night. Appreciate it very much. If you're tuned in and watching, we definitely, sincerely thank you for that. Want to get into the contest real quick, because that's important. We want to be able to be sure you guys can enter the contest, specifically the nightly contest. So, Ernie, if you don't mind, will you bring my laptop up real quick? I want to go over the contest and events tonight. Our first one out of the gate will be, of course, the Kicker Live weekly giveaway. This is the one we do every Tuesday night. We launched this one right at 7:15. Obviously, man, 10,600 entries already.
Wow.
Quite a few. Tonight's entry, we launch it at 7:15. That contest will end tonight at 8:30. And remember, anytime we talk a time here on Unmasked Live Weekly, it's always Central Time. So when I say now, that means if you're on the East Coast, add an hour. If you're one step back going toward the west, subtract an hour. And if you happen to be all the way out in Las Vegas or California, subtract 2 hours. But I always talk in Central Time here. So you've got until 8:30 Central Time. And tonight, man, we've got a great prize package. Third place, you're getting a set of those EB300 earbuds, a Kicker koozie. The koozies are back. Thank you, JW and Sandy, for that. And you'll get one of those limited edition Kicker Unmasked Live t-shirts. Second place, we're going to step you up to a set of the Tabor 2 wireless headphones, give you those same set of koozies and a limited edition Kicker Unmasked Live t-shirt. And our grand prize winner tonight, holy moly, I guess we did this in tribute to what we're going to be talking about in the show.
Apparently.
You're going to get your choice of a KMTC 65 or a KMTC 8. And I know we did that because maybe you can't, everyone typically goes for the biggest prize, but maybe in what you're doing, you don't have room for an 8, and really a 6.5 fits the bill. So you're going to get to choose a KMTC 65 or TC8, and your choice of color, flat or black, and either a tube mount or a flat mount. And we'll get into all those options with you here in a few minutes, John. But that's the grand prize tonight. That's going to be a fantastic prize. Remember, everyone, you've got until 8:30 Central Time to enter this contest. We close it down at 8:30, and we announce the winners before we close the show out at 9 o'clock.
You know, this is such a better contest than one we had when I was doing retail.
What was your contest?
Grand prize, steak knives. Second prize, pink slip.
Pink slip? Hey, that sounds like I'd want first prize all the time on that case. Moving right along, if you've been tuned into the show, you know we're in the habit of doing a little longer running contests. We usually let those run for about 5 or 6 weeks. And our boy MB from MB Enclosures, he joined us a couple weeks back, and we are doing a giveaway with MB. It's going to be fun. Now, this is a specific giveaway. It's for a 2019 or newer Ford F-150 crew cab. This is an enclosure. He's already built it. It's ready to go. And that enclosure is going to come with a pair of 8-inch square subwoofers. If you've watched the show, we don't know what you're going to get for subs yet. Might be some T's, might be some S's, might be some Q's. Might be whatever comes inside the cargo ship between now and then.
Exactly. What we have in stock.
Whatever we have in stock. But this is a fantastic contest going on. You have until midnight, the 29th, to enter this contest. We will be drawing the winner, announcing them November 30th on the Unmasked Live Tuesday show on the 30th. And MB will be joining us to congratulate the winner, get their information, and get their prize out to them. We're looking at 24,907 entries on that so far. That's great.
I find it hard to believe we have 24,907 people out there with F-150s 2019 and up.
Well,
that's okay.
I expect a lot fewer entries in this contest because it's specific. I mean, it's for a Ford F-150 2019.
That's awesome.
Or newer. But still,
almost a month left too.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out MB Enclosures, go check him out on YouTube. Fantastic guy. He does a great job designing and building enclosures. It was a pleasure having him on the show, and I am blessed that we get to do this giveaway in conjunction with him. And I look forward to doing some more with him in the future. Now tonight, and I'm glad Ernie still got this up, we have a new contest that we're launching tonight. There's 12 days left, so it's kicked off. You have 12 days to enter this contest. And Bill, he wanted to make sure that I went over the details, but I know you can all read, or at least I think you're ready to get online to type in an email address or an internet address to get here. But basically, here's what we're doing, folks. This is your chance. If you want to get your car, your truck, your SUV, ATV, UTV, boat, whatever it is, if you've got a cool ride that has current generation KICKER product in it, we want pictures from you. All the information is at the link, and as you know, the first two contests are always, the first one, the weekly one, is kicker.com/UMweekly. The big contest with MBE is kicker.com/giveaway, and this one is kicker.com/contest. And I know Bill will have these to scroll on the screen here in just a bit.
So I'd have to write all that down.
Yeah, Bill will scroll it around. He'll put it in the chat feed so you guys will have it.
Bring it on.
But kicker.com/contest, and it has to be a picture of a current generation KICKER product, because that's obviously it's going in the catalog, so we want something current gen. So if you happen to have any current generation KICKER product installed in, name it, boat, like I said, go over all of them, whatever it is, go hit this link, send us the photo, whatever the instructions tell you to do, because I haven't even read them yet. Bill was up here telling me about the contest. We discussed it very briefly. And enter. Now understand, this is going to be picked by probably a team of probably 6 or 8 people. We'll go through all the photos and we'll choose the one that we feel is the most appropriate to use in the catalog. And depending on how everything goes, it'll either be in the 2022 or the 2023. It may be both.
It could be.
It just depends on timing.
It's happened before.
But we are looking for people out there who have current gen product in your cars. Hit this link, kicker.com/contest, and then you can enter to get your vehicle, whatever it is, in the KICKER catalog, showing off that great, fantastic KICKER sound and KICKER gear. So,
yeah, in fact, you can take different angles of the shot. That way you might get a better shot of getting both ears.
Yeah, exactly. So that takes care of the 3 contests that we have going on right now. I mean, we got a lot of contests going on. One's the weekly one. You can only enter it tonight. It ends at 8:30. Get into that contest. MBE, you can enter that until midnight, November 29th. And then finally, this last one, the KICKER contest, to get your ride pictured in our catalog. That has got 12 days left. Enter it between now and 12 days from now. Contest will end at midnight, and we will then take all the photos and start figuring out who's our winner.
Well, we seem to give away a lot of stuff.
We do.
I don't think there's anybody else that gives away as much stuff as we do.
There really isn't. That's one of the great things that's come out about this is Unmasked Weekly is really a way that it allows all of the people out there to enjoy and get things from us, and it allows us to get a lot of great information from you. So this show is really a two-way conduit. We are blessed to be able to do these prizes and giveaways and have all this kind of fun. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate more than you know. Ernie, I'm going to go back to one more thing on my screen. I see the red tally lights. I knew to look up because I knew you're looking at me. But one more thing on my laptop I'm going to go to if you'll switch me back on, and that is finally the events page at KICKER, or not .kicker.com, but the KICKER Facebook page. And a lot of people are always asking, where's KICKER going to be? Where are you at for events? And this year, as in the previous year, it's a little bit of a hodgepodge because of travel and ability, because of the world situation as it is. But want to keep you in tune. that going on right now at the SEMA show, we have Steve Barber from Sharton on him, Drew Jones, Ramondo, who's from Oklahoma here. We have a whole contingency of people over there. We have Jeff out there with his, and I do mean, don't fire me for this, kick-ass pontoon boat with a fully loaded kicker system.
Yeah, that thing is a beast.
It's a beast.
I'm surprised it floats.
Exactly, but that show's going on right now, the SEMA show, and all of those vehicles are actually on display at the SEMA show. So if you're in the trade and you're at the SEMA show, you can actually go and see those. I think it's exhibit hall or parking lot F. Jeremy will get it and yell it in my ear here in a minute, but I think it's F.
Well, there's actually another one too. We've got that Bronco that's going to be featured in the ride that got away. It's actually
I forgot about that. Courtney
at the Ford
Hansen's
booth.
ride.
Yep.
So that one's another one.
That's got some marine speakers in it. It's not a boat.
I know, and I've heard that, and that thing sounds fantastic.
Oh man, is it loud?
So,
and 412s.
So if you're in the trade, you're in Vegas, be sure you go by and check out this. The Steve Barber, he's put this together. He took a lot of work to get this in conjunction with the people at SEMA. And then more importantly, SEMA ends Friday. Then the whole thing moves over. The Great Showdown, the Great Las Vegas Taco Festival. It's live music, it's great food, it's sound quality contest, it's a car show, and it's an SPL contest, all rolled into 2 fantastic days. All these vehicles that are at SEMA. So if you aren't part of the trade and you can't get into the SEMA show, man, get over to this event Friday or Saturday and Sunday, because all these vehicles are going to be on display there. The boat, all the vans, Steve Duncan's van, Drew Jones will be there, the whole
I
contingency.
think you're just rubbing it in. We're not there.
I'm really sad we're not there.
Yeah, me too.
So that takes care of events. That's the only one we've got on the schedule right now. But as always, if you're interested in Kicker events, go to the Kicker Facebook page, go to events, and they will all be listed here for you to see where they're at, when they're at, and you can, it'll tell you, we always try to have personnel there. This year, really Lauren, great guy. Lauren's been our guy out in the field that's been doing a lot of stuff, the big events there. And
He's
Lauren,
been the road warrior.
He is, and he will be at the showdown Saturday and Sunday. So go by the booth, check out Lauren. He's going to have great giveaways. We might even work with Lauren and run some social giveaway prizes in conjunction with the showdown. So we'll do them live on social media in conjunction
that'd be cool.
with Lauren. What do you think, JW?
Let's get more stuff
he's
away.
here and he said yes. All right, I love it.
It's his budget. So.
That's awesome.
And our profit sharing.
So I'm going to go back to here real quick just so I can see. Did somebody, hey, DIY audio guy. Yes, someone did say tacos. And if you're into tacos and you can get over to that event, you got to go check it out. I have to give total props out to Steve Barber, some of the best. I won't say some of the best barbacoa tacos I've ever had in my life. Steve
Really?
Barber had a guy bring them to a party that we did at his show 3 years ago now. God, time flies when you have a pandemic. Great food. Steve knows food. Steve knows the truck. So go hit up Steve. Go check it out. Yeah, who doesn't want tacos with car audio? It just works. Now, the next thing I want to cover real quickly, besides the catalog contest, is guys, if you enjoy this show, if this is more than your first time here, or even if it's your first time here, if you could do us a huge favor, it means a lot. As you know, we don't monetize the show. There's no ads, and we will never do that. That's not why we do this program. We really look at this show as a way that we can give back to the community, and the community can give us direction and input on what they'd like to see from Kicker. We mean that sincerely. But if you like this, if you like and subscribe to the Kicker YouTube channel and let us know that, it means a lot. It really helps the entire team here when we go up to our upper management people that we report to, when we're looking to do different giveaways or prizes or bring guests in, any of that stuff. When they see that we're getting great traction with the community, it makes that happen a lot easier. So help us.
I think
help
you're sucking
you.
up there, but it's for good cause.
I am sucking up for a real good cause. Is if you can, on the way out the door tonight, if you like what we're doing here, smash that thumbs up button. And if you don't, smash the thumbs down button. I mean, opinion
tell us
is
why.
opinion. Yeah, but if you don't like it, tell us why. Social@kicker.com, that gets you straight into Bill Frog's inbox. We love to hear what you want to see. We want to know what guests you'd like, what topics you'd like covered, what products you'd like to go for us to go deeper in. Any topic, good, bad, or indifferent, or any input, good, bad, or indifferent, we'd love to hear it at social@kicker.com, and Bill will keep scrolling that. He'll put it in the comment feed too. But that gets you straight into his box, and that gets it into the team, and we all talk about that information. Jeremy Rice, how do you calculate airspace on a box that has all corners curved? What about that, John?
You could do it. It's going to take a little while, but you'd have to calculate the area of each of the curves.
And it would
either
depend,
have-
are your curves triangular or your
Yep.
curves circular?
But it wouldn't be impossible.
No, what you'd want to do, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, John, calculate your entire internal air volume like you normally would.
Right.
12, 12, 12, 17, 28, that's the magic number. So figure out, you want to use your ID dimensions. So if the outside of your box is a foot, and you're using 3/4 inch wood, you need to
10 and a half.
subtract that from there. So be sure you're working with all your ID dimensions. Take your bracing out, take your ports out, take your woofer displacement out, and that'll get you down to your net air volume. Now I said just go from the outside. Now if you're doing kerfs, then what you're going to have to do, like John said, is calculate the amount of airspace that kerf takes up. So if it's a triangular kerf, it's half base times height.
I'd like to see a circular curve. That'd be interesting.
Or even a circular kerf, which would be a fourth of 2 pi r.
Pi r squared?
Pi r squared, a fourth of pi r squared. If it's a.
I'm talking about a full curve.
Yeah, right. So what you basically have to do is calculate the boxes you normally would complete, and then calculate what those curves take up for volume, and subtract those, and that'll give you your net airspace volume.
Well, and along with that subject, just real quick, if you've got a box that's really, really complicated, like fiberglass, and there's curves, and the best way to do is just take a box and make it 12 by 12 by 12 inside without a top on it. Fill the box with sand, dump that into the box, and you can calculate it out that way by actually measuring the volume.
And you know what? Here, this is great. Of course, he's looking at it in a much simpler way than we do. I'm saying calculate each one. He says if all. Wait a minute. Oh, you beat me. Hold on a second. Keep that comment. You got it? Don't lose that, Jeremy. Hold on. At Kicker, if all 4 kerfs are the same, just subtract the volume of a tube.
Yep.
So if you're doing round ones, and there's 4 obviously, 4 corners of the box, just subtract, so that would be pi r squared times height, and that would get you your volume.
Yep.
So thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's a good input on that. And then back down to the one Jeremy had. It's car alarm season again in the Northeast. Frost alert tonight in New Jersey.
Uh-oh.
More break-ins driving up interest. Joseph Dunphy, that's true. It is. It's finally gotten cool here in Stillwater. It's not
30s?
cold. It's cool.
It's supposed to be in the 30s.
It's cool. Not cold, but cool. If you have any other great questions or comments, JW, please throw those in there. Thank you for the ones you did. Pie are round, cornbread are square. Yeah, that's
cornbread.
That is true. It's cake are actually round. Pie is square. Cake are round. So with that said, we got the events, the like and subscribe. What I want to do real quick, I'm looking at the clock and we got plenty of time to do this. If you've got any great questions or comments, keep feeding them into the feed even while I'm going over this, because John can see them on the screen and he could answer these. But what we've gotten to the habit of doing is I've actually got, and I look at this, Ernie, just leave us on cam 2 or just don't go to my laptop, there's no need. But basically, I know that getting product from anything, much less car audio, is a little difficult right now. So what I thought was a good idea is about 2 or 3 shows ago, I started, we get product release updates to let us know what products we've got in, they've passed QA and QC, and we've released them to our dealers. And here's the way it works, guys. If you go to kicker.com and you look for a product and it says not available, it doesn't mean that the product may or may not be available. It means we don't have enough to keep any here in the warehouse to sell them direct to you through kicker.com.
Right.
We fill all of our dealers' orders first. So if we get 1,500 in, and we've got orders on the books for 1,700, guess what? 1,500 go right back out, and we still don't have anything to keep here to put on kicker.com. So just because you don't see it in stock at kicker.com does not mean it's not available at a Kicker dealer, whether it's a brick and mortar store or your favorite online dealer.
It doesn't mean we're never going to get it either.
Right, it doesn't mean we're never going to get it. It just means we don't have it right now, but it doesn't mean it may not be available in a store. So what I've been doing is real quick, I've been going through these product releases that I get forwarded to me to let you know the products that we've released here recently. So from last week, I'm going to catch you all up a little bit. If any of these products are things from Kicker that you've been looking for, now is the time to hit up your favorite Kicker dealer and ask them, hey, where is this? I'd like to find out where it's at. So starting with, we've released KMA 604s. We've released quite a quantity of those. So those are now out and available at your dealers. The Kicker Marine amplifier, the KMA 600.
Or they will be soon.
Or they will be soon. They're released and they're shipping. So if that's a product that is of interest to you, check the stream now. You'll be able to find it. And I'm going to scroll up here to the next one. And we've got, oh, that's a big page.
Yep,
Let's see here.
Got a bunch of them.
We've got some C10-4, so some 4-ohm 10-inch woofers. We've got some more of the DCW, which is the dual comp enclosures, 12-inch. We got some more CS 6x9 three-ways out. We got some DC-122, so that's a dual comp 12-inch box, 2-ohm. More DCS 6.930s. So
yeah,
that's,
that one's
that's
funny
6x9.
because I think that's about a 10th or more of what's on backorder.
Oh yeah, easily.
If not 20th.
KM84L, so that's the lighted Kicker Marine 8-inch coax speakers. Got a good quantity
We've
of
been
those
out
in
of
there
those
out in
for a
the
little
field.
while, so
Yep.
I know a bunch of people are going to be happy those are back in stock.
Exactly, so check those out. And CS series, the 6.7/4, that's a 6 3/4-inch speaker right there. We've got some of those that have been put out into the field. Next on my list is...
Was that your wife's email?
Well, it's her forwarding stuff to me.
Okay.
She's nice about that.
She keeps you in the loop.
She keeps me in the loop.
What would we do without our wives?
Sometimes I don't have a clue. Moving on with my email list here, we've got HS10s. I know we've talked about some of these being released before. We've got another batch that's been released. This is the powered 10-inch hideaway subwoofer. 300 watts on that, is that correct?
Peak, it's 180 continuous.
180 continuous, 300 peak.
That thing's awesome sounding.
It's great sounding. I mean, if I was going to use a powered enclosure, that would be the one in my shopping
I just
cart.
put one in a couple weeks ago. And
they're pretty awesome.
The owner was just amazed
at how they work. So the HS10s, we got some more of those released out in the field. Go check those out.
Actually, it was in Tracy Foch's son's car.
There you go. PT 250s, we got a good quantity of those. Those have also shipped out. This is small. Let me bring this up so I can even read it. We've got
speakers, and enclosures.
Power Sports 6.5s, 4 ohm. We've got TCWRT 102s. Hey. People have been waiting on those. We got some of those out in the field. That is the Comp RT, and that's not the down firing. That's the behind the seat enclosure. So it's angled, but uses the passive radiator with the Comp RT woofer. Got a quantity of those in. Those are going out the door. CWRTs, we got 6 3/4 in both 2 ohm and 4 ohm. CWRT, so that's 8-inch woofers. We got those in 2 ohm. CWRT 12s in 2 ohm. Hey, TRTP, so that's the down firing box. In a 12.
Those are hot right now.
Those are hot right now. We've got some of those that just went out. KSC speakers, we've got some 6.5, so they just left. CWR 12, so that's Comp R 12-inch woofers, 4 ohm, got some of those. CWR 10.4, so that's the 10-inch 4 ohm driver, got some of those. And KSC 41004, so that's 4x10s, right?
Yeah.
That's the 4x10, which I don't think anybody on this planet makes 4x10 holes anymore. But obviously, there's a lot of cars out there that still need them filled because we sell a lot of 4x10s.
Yeah, like, the old Mustangs, the 64.5 to 66. I mean, the Tahoes, Suburbans, and Blazers that had them in the headliner. Fieros had them in the dash.
They did. They did have them in the dash. You are correct. Next one on the list here, I'm trying to read it, blah, blah, blah. What the heck is that?
What's the model?
I don't even know what that is. I want to try to blow that up and see if I can read it. You know what, that's probably got to be an OE product.
Probably is.
I have no idea. We'll skip that one because I have no idea what a BR5489 is. That doesn't even work for me. I'm sure that's OE product right there.
Sounds like a hee-haw number.
Yeah, exactly. Find this and a whole lot more in your favorite channel along with hee-haw.
Gloom, despair, and agony on me.
L712s in both 2 ohm and 4 ohm. BKM 614 TRL, that is a black marine 6-inch, correct, John?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. DSC 68004, so that's 6x8s in the DS line.
The Ford series.
Yep, 69304, so 6x9 3-ways in the DS series. TC104s, we saw a lot of those. That's the comp woofer in the truck style enclosure. Sell a ton of those. More of those have just went out in the field. More KM84Ls, that's the marine lighted speaker. And CSS, so that's actually a system pack. 6 3/4.
Components.
So that's the components.
CSC, C for coax, CSS, S for system.
There you go. Some more some PT 250, that's powered enclosures there. Let's see what else we got here. KMC2s. What?
Yeah.
We actually got some Marine 48 KMC2s in. I know there's none on the website. I'm sure that all filled back orders.
Intent, nudge, nudge. The 3s are in stock too.
Are they?
I just looked them up within the hour.
They may be on my list.
They may be.
So KMC2s, that's the Marine radio round face, as John was saying. We just got a batch of those in. They've gone in the field. So if you're looking for one of those, please.
The 2 and the 3 are exactly the same, but different shape.
Exactly.
Completely the same, but totally different.
They're identical, but they're not. One's hip to be square, and one thinks it's a pie.
Yeah.
Because it's round.
Apple.
48 TRTP, so that's down firing. We got the 8s. CWTB 104, so that's the round tube enclosures with the passive radiator on one end and the 10-inch comp woofer on the other. We got some of those that have just released. CWRT 104s, we got some of those that have been released. That's the Comp RT 10-inch 4 ohm. HP 4BTB, 46 HP 4BTB, 4BTB. Is that Tabor? That's the new Tabor, isn't it?
I believe so.
I think that is. I think that's the new Tabor. So that's great. We got some of those in. That'd be the Tabor 2s.
Those would be headphones.
Yeah. Oh, and looky here. This L7S, L7 152s.
Just L7.
L7 154. So 41s.
Yep. That's Q class.
That's Q class. So 41 L7s in Q class, 15 and 4 ohm, 15 and 2 ohm. Got some of those in.
Been waiting for those for a while.
Absolutely. Some more DS 6.5s, some Comp 12s, woofers. Comp woofer CD, so that's a downfiring. So we got some of the comp woofer downfiring boxes with the 10. Some more of the 8-inch lighted marine speakers, that's good to see. 6.934s, that's the CS series 6x9 three-ways, got some more of those. And then CSC 54s, that'd be 5 1/4s in the CS line.
We are definitely getting a lot of containers coming in.
We are. And
if
then
you notice, there's been a shortage of amplifiers.
and guys, I love going over this just because I know we get lots of questions about what product's available, where can I get it, and so this is the best way that I know how to tell you what's hit Kicker, what's cleared QA and QC, and what we've sent on to our dealers, whether it's a brick and mortar store or online. Let you know that these are the products. If this is in your shopping list, you know that now you can go start looking and hit your dealers up because we've actually pushed a bunch out into the field. Some more DS 654s, that's a 6.5 inch. C12 that's comp 12 woofers and 4 ohm. DC 122s, that's a dual comp enclosure 12, 2 ohm. 45 KMTC 65W, that would be some more marine cans, correct, John?
Yes, it would be.
6.5 inch in white. KM 604s in white, that would be some
another marine product.
Another marine product. C104, some more 10-inch 4 ohm comp woofers. 6934s, more CS series 6x9 three-ways.
DCWs.
DCW, so that's a dual comp woofer enclosure, 12-inch, 2 ohm. And DCWR, so that's the comp R dual enclosure. So we got some of those in, shipped out the door. Let's see what else we got here. There's a ton here, but I just wanted to go over these. I figured this is the best way to keep all of the Kicker fan base up to speed. L7 122s, L7 124s, that's some more Q-class woofers. Yes. So if you're looking for Q-class L7s, there's some in the house now. Probably in the dealers. Probably not here, but out in our dealers.
They pretty much come in the back door and go out the front door.
More DS Series 6x8s, more DS Series 6x9s, more TC104s, more marine speakers, the 8-inch lighted marine speaker, some more of those CSS 674s, that's the component system, 6 3/4 inch. Exactly. See what else we got here real quick. More 6.5s in the DS line, some more 12-inch comps, more 12-inch enclosures, 2 ohm. A lot of stuff. KM, some more of the T654s, some more of that. Some more 6x9s from.
Sure, that's not the same email.
It's not the same email. They're just it's.
I know, they keep releasing them in little groups.
They get them in groups, and when they're released, we get this is what's been released. TRTP 82s.
Nice.
Some more CWT B104s, CWRT 104s. Some more of those Bluetooth headphones. That is the Tabor 2s. That's the BTB. Some more Q-Class L715s. Some more 6.5s in the CS line. Comp woofers, 12-inch 4 ohm. Comp woofer downfired enclosure 104. We have a lot of people looking for that because that's going to be a fantastic performing box at a great price point.
It's going to be a great Christmas present.
Great Christmas present. Some more of those. Some
more
lighted
thinking
marine
about that. It's in the stores already.
Exactly. Some more lighted marine speakers, some more 6x9s, and last but not least, some more 5 1/4s. So going through this list, I think is just a great way to keep you guys up to date on the products that are available from us here at Kicker.com. So if you hit the Kicker website and you're looking for your product and you don't see it on the website, the best thing I can tell you is please go hit your favorite Kicker dealer, brick and mortar or
online.
Or online. And these products are ones that we've just released recently, so they should be able to be found out there in the retail world. So hopefully, I've had a lot of people request information like this, so doing this little segment on the show gets you everyone up to speed. And I can't wait to look forward to the time we don't have to do this, and it's just always back in stock.
It's going to be a little while.
I know. It's going to be a little crazy for a while. Thomas Marshall. Hey, how you doing tonight, Thomas? Good to see you, man. Question for Kip. The S12D's enclosure specs change from 400 to 600 watts. Does that change the box tuning when going up in wattage?
No.
No, not at all. The power rating on any speaker, ultimately what you're boiling that down to is a power rating on a speaker is A, how much thermally can the speaker handle and not melt itself, and B, in a particular enclosure, how much power does it take to get that driver to full excursion? So you can have a woofer that thermally might dissipate 600 watts effectively, no problem, but if it gets to full excursion, it's let's say 375 watts, there's no need to put more power into you can't move it any further.
You're just going to tear it up.
You're just going to tear it up. So that's where those ranges of power come in. It's really, if you look at the max number, that's thermally what the woofer, and when I say max number, do not look at the peak numbers. I'm talking the RMS numbers because we give ranges on those because it's based on box design. And if you hit kicker.com and look at any of our drivers or loaded enclosures, there's usually a little graph at the bottom that says, okay, if take this woofer and put it in a sealed box, this is the recommended power range. take this woofer and put it in a ported box. This is the recommended power range. And that range is because it's based on, are you building the minimum size enclosure? Are you building the maximum size enclosure? So it's all based on a range. Once you get any speaker to full excursion, there's no need to keep dumping more power into it.
No benefit.
There's none. It won't get louder.
Unless you just want to replace it.
Oh yeah, unless you like replacing it. So that's why there's a range on that. But the power does not change the box tuning. The box tuning and the size of the box is going to change how much power it takes to get the driver to its full excursion.
So when you're tuning the boxes, I mean, the box basically, you can tune a box to any frequency you want without a speaker in it. Then you put the speaker in it, and then you've got to combine all those, features to get the frequency response.
I just saw Thomas comment that he stopped going by peak power in the early 90s, and Thomas, that's the best thing you can do. We are guilty of as well. We put peak power ratings on stuff, which is typically just RMS times 2. RMS times 2 is actually the most honest answer. There are a lot of companies
RMS
out
times
there.
5, like
I've seen 5, 10, 15. I've seen some RM peak numbers.
1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah, it's like, holy moly. So yeah, just remember, even us with Kicker, and we have peak numbers, I'm going to be the guy sitting here telling you, so John, just ignore the peak numbers. They don't mean anything.
Yeah, we had to put them on there because everybody else did.
Exactly. No. Ryan, I hope I don't butcher your last name, buddy, and if I do, I apologize. Shugru, I think that's what it says. Is there anywhere you can look at old Kicker demo vehicles? My class toured Kicker in 2000. They had an impressive truck with a VHS player in the dash. That experience got me into car audio.
Which vehicle was that? Because we were there.
I'm trying to think. 2000.
VHS in the dash. I know we did the CD player in the Ranger. We took a home CD player and took it apart. You did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was you.
It was me. I did do that. Also in that same, I took a Behringer Pro Sound EQ and tore it apart.
The Falcon.
The Falcon would have been
the
one.
The 64-panel delivery Falcon had a VHS player in the back and a CRT TV.
Yeah, a tube.
Yeah, cathode ray tube.
Not a panel TV, a tube TV. That would be the one, Ryan. Ryan, you bring up a real good question that we need to bring up is, I don't think that we've done a good job. I think we've done a good job of keeping a lot of the history of Kicker in files and folders.
We
and
are
things.
a lot of the history.
Yeah, look at us.
For 25 years.
There's a lot of history right here. But we really don't have that up on kicker.com for the world to see. And what you've just brought up there is an interesting question that really requires a little bit of deeper research. And I think we should look at, we should ask the questions internally about how we could create some additions to our own website so you can go back and look at the historic vehicles that we've done in the past. So great question, Ryan. Thank you for that. And thanks, John, for knowing which one it was. That was, do what?
There are some
Yeah, there are.
Oh, are there?
Yes.
We just need Mo?
Yes.
MOA.
We did have an avenue, I forgot when it was, where customers could post their vehicles and tell about them.
We did. That's been a while back that we had that, but yes, we did have something
got
like
too tedious to maintain, and people started getting too nasty and abusing it. So,
Ganesh Narayan. Hopefully, I got your name correct, Ganesh. And if I didn't, I always apologize in advance. Does Kicker make a 5-channel amp? Absolutely.
make a couple of them.
In the CX line, we make actually a 6-channel amp that you can bridge into a 5-channel if you want to. Which, if you're doing a subwoofer, that makes sense.
The CX line, it is a 5-channel.
In the CX, it's a 5-channel?
Yep.
Or is the 6-channel?
The KMA is the 6-channel.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, the Marine, which is based off the CX.
Which is based off of it. So we got a 5-channel in the CX line. We have a 6-channel in the Marine line that you can use for a 5-channel if you want to. And right now, as you know, that's really currently
the KXMA 905.
The KXMA 905, which we talked about that on last week's show.
Yep.
Some of the 905s went out. So it's the KXMA 905. So it's going to be 500 watts dedicated to bass and 100 watts by 2
It's
ohms?
still 400 on the bass and 125.
Okay, 400 and 125.
And that has the new wired bass control.
The new wired bass control, it does.
That is included.
So for right now, what you'd want to go look at would be either a KXMA 905.
That being a Marine amp, but it still works in the car.
Still works in the car. A KMA 606 would be correct. Or a CX, is that a 605?
CXA 660.
660.
65 per channel at 4 ohms. And then it's going to be 130 per channel at 2 ohms.
At 2 ohms.
And then 300 for the sub.
300 for the sub. And that 300, that's at 4 ohm, right?
Yep.
So it does a little bit more
2
than
ohms.
that. That's at 2 ohms? Okay, so at 2 ohms. So that's going to be the ones you'll want to go look at right now. As we've told everyone on the show, because people ask the question, KX is end of life. If you can find one, there are KX 805s out there. Some dealers may still have them, but as far as Kicker's concerned, that is an end of life product. It has been, and because of the entire global situation as far as logistic and production, we've been very slow to get the replacement amplifier for KX out, and it's not that we don't want
It
to.
should have been out months ago.
It was supposed to be out the first of the year.
Yeah.
And it just...
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, thanks, COVID. Appreciate you. But there will be a KX replacement coming at some time in the future, and there will be a multi-channel in that. But if you're looking for KX, you might find some in your dealers. Just call and ask. You'd be looking for a 905. Our boy
805.
Jimmy Ham might have some.
805.
Or 805.
Yeah, the
excuse me.
905 is the new Marine.
In the Marine line. Thank you, John. Yes, for that. So that's a good question. Thank you for that. If you have any other questions, hey, thank you, sir. Larry Keller, what's the closest modern kicker to the Free Air series? Oh, Larry, that's a loaded question.
KMF?
Yeah, that would be it. That would be, we make, here's the long answer, Larry, and we'll get back to the short answer. The long answer is, you can take just about any subwoofer and run it in a free air application. Some will work better than others based on the suspension. A stiffer suspension tends to work better in a free air application as opposed to a woofer that has a looser suspension. But all woofers can work in free air. The thing you got to remember, as soon as you put a woofer into free air, you've totally removed the VAS.
The mechanical suspension.
Yeah, the mechanical air suspension is gone, and the woofer is the only thing controlling itself. So power handling, take any woofer out there and you put it into a free air application, you can take that power handling and cut it in at least half right out of the gate. So if it's a 400 watt subwoofer and you go free air with it, it's a 200 watt subwoofer.
Now that is kind of a loaded question, because with the proper, subsonic filter,
True.
You can bring some of that back by electronically controlling that in place of the enclosure.
It can, but that's basically what you're doing is when you go free air, the speaker suspension or the electronic crossover limiting the frequencies going to the driver are what's controlling the driver excursion. But if you're looking for a true free air driver, we do make in the Marine line a KMF 10, and do we do it in a 12?
Yes.
I thought we
4
did.
ohm and 8 ohm.
And we offer them in 4 ohm and 8 ohm. So you can get a KMF 10 or a KMF 12, and those would be the closest thing to a true design for free air application.
Yeah, they basically have twice the mechanical suspension.
Right. They have more control because of the suspension.
Now, you're talking about, Marine and free air. I mean, running a speaker free air, a Marine comparison would be like taking your prop out of the water.
Yes, exactly.
There's
That's a
no
good analogy.
resistance on it. It can just freely destroy itself.
Exactly. Jerome, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You got John over here, man. There's no one in the company that I would trust more with specs or information than this guy right here. I really wouldn't. He knows his stuff too. So I'm just going through the comment feed here, getting down. So Jeremy, if you come up with any other good ones, feel free to throw them up here at any moment. What we're going to do now is I want to get into what I call the meat of the show. We've gone through the updates, and we've got a great show, I think a great show tonight, because what we're going to do first is we're going to have John kind of run through basically all of the different loaded cans.
All of them?
Well, all of them.
That's a lot of them.
Well, you got all of them is a lot of them.
I talk fast, so.
John does talk fast. But I want him to kind of go a little bit in depth about as far as, what's the application, which ones we offer, what are they designed to mount to, what are they offered in. And, we have loaded enclosures that go from probably, a couple $100 all the way up to $1,600, depending on what you're looking at. And so there's a wide range of things there, and it's all based about really, how loud are you wanting to go? What's your application?
Yeah, volume is just a matter of money.
Exactly. If like someone told me recently, if your problem can be fixed with money, you don't have a problem.
Exactly.
So
unless you have a money problem.
Well, then just go out and get more money. So
that's the problem.
True. So with that said, we've actually got a couple great demos lined up to show you guys some cool differences in key technologies that center around these can type products. That's why if you've seen it here sitting in front of us, we actually have an SPL meter.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah, it's an SPLometer. We got one of these. We've got a couple microphones set up where we're going to do basically some subjective testing later. What I would recommend is when we do the subjective testing, it would probably be best if you listen to it now, or if you come back and watch the feed later, probably on a good set of headphones, so that you can hear the differences between what we're talking about.
Laptop speakers are
Laptop speakers are not going to cut it. Just so you know, so when we get to the subjective testing here in just a little bit, it's going to be best to listen to that on headphones. Now, if you want to do it live now, great, but if you don't, you can always come back and rewatch the feed later and put a set of headphones on.
Or if you have your laptop plugged into your home stereo.
Or if your laptop's plugged into your home stereo, that's a good choice. But the subjective testing we're going to do here in probably the next half hour will sound the best, the better system you use to listen to it. So headphones, good home audio system, built-in speakers in your phone or built-in speakers in your laptop are not going to really show you the differences we're trying to show. So I'd give you a little heads up. That gives you about a half hour to try to do that if you
Yeah,
want
we'll
to.
be able to show you the meter, but not really the sound difference.
So yeah, the meter is going to be really cool to look at. We've done some testing earlier. I think you guys are going to be blown away with some of the testing we're going to show you on that. And then the subjective testing from a listening standpoint. If you got some headphones or a better system to listen to it on, I think it's going to be really good for you. So with all that said, John, we got a lot of comments in here. I'm going to try to go through these and look for comments. I know JW as well. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, right behind you is really a fantastic display that JW put together.
Pretty much everything we got.
It is pretty much everything we got. But if you would go through the lineup, starting at the bottom. By being bottom means smallest size. I don't mean
which is the top.
Which is the top. So
start at the bottom at the top.
Bottom to the top or top to the bottom.
Whichever way you want to look at it.
I got him. So tell us about marine speakers.
Marine speakers and marine cans.
In the cans, yes.
So I guess we probably, which side do you want me on, Tim? Or do you care? He's versatile. I'm right-handed, so I have to use my right hand.
There you go.
So starting at the very top, which is at the very bottom, if we're going price-wise, we do have the 4-inch cans, which these 4-inch cans are available in black and white. And a little different than the other cans, they basically will mount on a small bar. That's why we've got this big bar. We've actually improvised the clamps just to show you. They don't come with these clamps, but they do come with the 1-inch bar clamps. We actually include 1-inch square inserts for square tubing, which is really popular in golf cars and some ATVs. And if you're making your own bars to mount them on, square tubing is actually pretty easy to work with. So we do have the 4-inch cans available in black and white. From there we jump up to the 6.5-inch cans, also available in black and white. And we have 8-inch cans. So we don't have the 8-inch cans up here, but they're available in black and white. I bet you probably figured that one out already. But the 6 and the 8-inch also come preloaded with speakers in them, which is kind of neat. And that's in dual cans and single cans. And the 4s also come preloaded. So you can buy basically all of our cans separately, or you can buy them preloaded with different models of speakers, which is pretty nice. If you don't want to take the time to put them together, hey, we'll do it for you. So that's always a good thing. But with the dual, so we've got the 8-inch duals with the tweeters in the center, and we got the 6-inch coax duals with the tweeters. So.
And looking at those, John, I'm going to just interject a little bit as you're going along. Obviously, the products we see lit up, those come pre-wired from KICKER with that capability, correct?
Yep, they're already pre-wired with the LEDs. Now, the 4-inch speakers in the Marine are the series that do not have LEDs. It's not optional.
Okay.
But in the 8-inch, they have LEDs. It's not optional to get them without.
Okay.
So, and the 6s, it can either be no LEDs, blue LEDs, or full RGB.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we got several different varieties there. And we've got some, bulk versions we don't have, like the 604s up here.
Okay.
Which those use a smaller tweeter. Now, excuse me, most of these speakers, if you notice, are using a 3/4-inch or a 1-inch titanium dome tweeter, whereas the 604s are using that 13mm PEI tweeter like we do on the CS and the DS speakers.
Gotcha.
Very, very popular speaker, popular tweeter. They sound good. But also, when you buy our Marine speakers, when you buy either the 4s, the 6s, or the 8s, you get your choice of the white or the gray grills. They come in the box.
So you can swap out the color of your choice.
As much as you want. And that saves, you guys from having to, pre-order, what color grills you want. You're going to get both colors of grills in the box.
Now keep in mind when John's saying that, he's talking strictly about the coax product,
Yes.
not the can loaded. So if you're going to get a can and you want white or you want black, you have to order white or black. Because it's either going to be a white can and it comes with just a white grill, or it'll be a black can that comes with a black grill. When he says you get both color grills, he's referring to just when they come in a coax form.
Yep.
So order a pair of 6.5, that'd be KM6.4Ls?
Yeah.
And 8.4Ls.
Yeah, the 6.4Ls, L being LED.
Right, there you go.
So that's what the numbers. So great sounding speakers. Of course, these speakers are completely designed to be out in the weather all the time. They're Marine speakers. So a lot of times in a coax speaker, especially a car speaker, which is one reason why you never want to use a car speaker in a Marine environment, is because that tweeter most of the time is mounted on a post. That post is actually attached to the center pole piece of the magnet. And then when that happens, you've got a gap around that post so you don't have any rubbing. Well, that's where your water gets in.
True.
And if I was remembering correctly, most iron and ferrite type materials will rust when they get wet.
They tend to do that, don't they, John?
And you do not want that gap to get rust in it, because then your speaker is done.
And speaking of rust in the gap, and that is a true concern, but all of our Marine speakers, all of the steel parts are plated to prevent that.
Yep.
So that's something
just in case.
Yeah, so just want to point that out as John's going through it is, in the end, Mother Nature is going to win, but you design everything the best you can, use the best materials, you use the best resistances that are available, whether they're coatings or treatments, to make these durable out there. And one of the things that we do is on the marine side, if it is in our marine lineup, and as I call it, a marine speaker, the metal parts are all plated to prevent or inhibit rust and corrosion.
Which they definitely don't do in the car versions.
Absolutely, there's no need in the car version.
Yep, and you know, if you've looked at a speaker closely, like a coax or a three-way Trax, you see wires coming off the tweeter that go down through the cone. We don't have that either, because that's more chance for water to get in. The wires actually run down these legs and then back behind the speaker.
So, so really, our engineers spent a lot of time looking at water intrusion and trying to keep it away.
We really, you know, many years ago, you know, we were basically doing what everybody else was doing. We were taking speakers and painting them white and calling them marine. Guess what? That didn't work so well.
No, it doesn't.
So we put a whole team together, and we really took a lot of time to make sure that these speakers were absolutely marine certified speakers. You know, you got polycarbonate baskets and cones. You don't have stamped steel. You look at the grill material, and what's kind of interesting about the cone and the surrounds, you see a lot of speakers, you know, they will actually go in and glue the surround to the cone. Well, these are in a process what they call co-molding. It's hard to say, but we actually put the materials in one mold at one time. While they're hot, they're actually fused together mechanically.
So it's not only
bonded,
not only a better bond, but it's no water. You don't have to worry about water intrusion through that seam. Real quick, I want to hit the pause button on you real fast. Just so everyone out there, whether you're new to the show or you're an old timer, just so you know, tonight's contest, you've got about 12 minutes to enter tonight's contest. That's kicker.com/UM-Weekly. That's the link to tonight's contest. I'm sure Bill will post it in the chat feed again or scroll it across the bottom of the screen, but I'd just like to give everybody a little verbal heads up. You got about 12 minutes to enter tonight's contest. We can lock it down at 8:30 and we'll draw winners and announce before 9 o'clock. So go ahead, John.
Where was I? Marine speakers.
Marine speakers.
So the other thing we do with all the connections on the speakers, whether it's on the back of the speaker or in line, we give you a waterproof connector.
Okay.
So a little box with foam around it that clamps around to make sure that the connections don't corrode over time. And they're gold-plated connections.
Good.
So that's even better. So great speakers, and that pretty much is the bulk of the speaker line, with the exception of on the 6s and the 8s, you see these have got the clamp style mount.
And speaking of the clamp, John, all of these enclosures are some kind of a polycarbonate blend.
Yes.
But the clamp material, what are those?
That is stainless steel.
Okay.
And I think it's the 604L. It's the premium grade of stainless steel, because stainless steel is designed not to rust, but there is the word steel in there. There is still some carbon steel. So it's the amount of carbon steel versus, you know, the other materials are in it. And we use the marine certified stainless steel.
Is that 613L?
613L, yeah. The 604 is the...
That one's there for you, Thomas, the 613L. Gotcha.
Glad you got that. But, you know, there's a different style in the clamps. Like I say, when you get into the 6-inch and the 8-inch, you've got the bar style clamps, which will clamp onto various sizes of bars with inserts. And a couple of years ago, we looked at it and said, you know, there's a lot of different bars coming out, different sizes. Right. So we came out with the new clamp style, which these were all designed in-house by our engineers, and then basically had them made for us. But these will fit on bars from 1.5 to 3.25 inches without any adapters. They just vary in clamp.
And real quick, while we're talking on that, maybe you can show a little bit. I know it's a little difficult in the display maybe, but the cans on my left or on your screen, the watching be the right cans, those are just, they're fixed mount.
Yes.
But the new clamp that's over here on my right or your left screen, those actually have some rotation in them, do they not?
So they sure do. So you got this bar that you can flip, and they will rotate. And they will rotate about 359 degrees. Why are we 1 degree shy?
We're 1 degree shy because if you're able to continue to rotate that can around, you could break the speaker wire that goes from the can.
No,
to
you
your
will
connection.
eventually.
Yeah, you will. You'll twist it around itself and break it. So there's actually a hard stop at 359. So you can go 359 one way, it stops, and then to go back, you have to go completely the other direction. That keeps you from twisting that wire around itself and eventually breaking it.
But it happens.
But I wanted to point that out because the new kicker loaded cans with that new clamp on there, once you mount them to your boat, ATV, UTV, car, truck, you know, a lot of guys end up putting these in their truck bed. They use them for the ultimate tailgate system.
Yeah, we just did that in that Bronco.
Absolutely. Well, that's a good example.
Yeah,
so what's cool about that is once they're mounted, you can then rotate the speaker toward the party. So if the party moves over here or the fire pit's over here and the vehicle's parked here, you can literally just pop that clamp, rotate that speaker, pop that clamp back down, you can fire the sound to where everyone's at. So I just wanted to point that out.
Which is pretty cool.
I think it's really cool on
Now, the other style of mount versus the clamp mount, we have the flat mount.
And
so this is fairly new.
it is.
So this basically mounts to a flat surface, and there's 2 wedges that fit in there, and they're wedges because you can actually change the orientation of the wedges and change the angle of the speaker.
Oh, okay.
So there's still some directivity even with the flat mount. So it's all done with the wedges that are included with the speaker that mount to the flat surface.
And the key reason, the reason we have a flat mount speaker cam product now is because if you see in a lot of these bars that are in boats that are made out of fiberglass, there's no tube to mount anything to, and everything is done in what's called a flat mount fashion because it's flat bolted. There's some kind of a support that's built into that fiberglass arch.
And sometimes you got just the wake tower bars,
right?
Flat aluminum
or flat aluminum,
yeah.
Exactly. So that's what the flat mount is for. Is that it's another option that's out there that you would have to fabricate your own type of flat mount onto a cam product with a tube mount.
Yeah, and I've done that with those, and it's not impossible, but it's just a little bit more difficult.
It's a lot more work.
And it doesn't look as nice, because basically what you would do you would actually not use this part of the bracket, you just have the other two, and you'd have to come in through that flat surface to mount through these holes.
Right.
But then you've got the big circular gap, and it just doesn't look quite as nice.
Right.
So we address that issue. We want to make sure things look properly, look professional. So, you know.
So flat mount or tube mount, we offer both because you really want to buy the one that fits your application, because it's not that you, like John said, it's not that you couldn't take a tube mount and turn it into a flat mount, but it's going to be a lot of machine and engineering work on your end to make it happen.
We're audio guys. We fabricate everything.
We
or
fabricate
can if we
everything.
have to, you know, in a pinch. And those are available in the 6.5 and the 8-inch.
Okay. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, John. Sorry about that.
That's your job, isn't it, to interrupt? That's what we do. So from there, we're going to go up to the bad boys on the block, and that's going to be the KMTCs and the KMFCs. So the KMTCs down here on the bottom, the T for tower mount, these are available in a 9-inch, which is here, an 11-inch, or the 9-inch and the 11-inch, depending on which way you want to go. They're available black and white. These speakers use the compression driver, and this is what we're going to talk about quite a bit tonight. This is a compression or a horn style speaker that's designed to increase the sensitivity or the efficiency of the speakers.
Real quick, let me hit the pause button on there real fast. Don't go away. Jim Grant, how do they seal the horns going through the woofer? Jim, that's a great question, and that's one of the things we came across in developing these speakers, is there's actually a, I don't want to use the word rubber, I think it's EPDM, but there is actually a spider made out of EPDM or rubber, or it might even be made out of Santoprene.
Yep, and sometimes butyl rubber.
And sometimes butyl, but where that throat for that horn goes back through that 8-inch driver, there's a spider underneath, the conventional spider that you're familiar with to control the driver, but then on top, there's that rubber spider, and then no water can get back through
Yeah,
there.
and if you could see that, and I don't know if we can rotate one of these speakers, that it actually's got ribs just like the surround on our automotive coaxes.
I
So,
should have had the mobile camera.
yes, you
I
should
should
have.
have the mobile cam.
And thus, Tim can zoom in real good. I mean, we might be able to rotate this around far enough that I don't know if he could
I don't know
shoot
if he
down
can
in the
get-
side there. Tim, can you zoom in that tight?
Stop. All right, so if you guys can
Depending
look
when the
down in there,
LEDs hit it.
and I think Tim zoomed in about as far as he can go. I don't know if there's any more zoom on the lens he's got right there.
But right back in here, way down, can't see by my fat finger, but that is where that little rubber basically donut is that's going to keep the water out of the inside of that enclosure.
So it's basically it's another spider on top
Yep.
that connects from the cone to the horn
throat.
lens.
Yep.
And it prevents any water from getting down around that lens and back into the motor structure. So,
Good question.
Jim, great question. And JW, good eyes for catching that and bringing it up. That's a fantastic question about these products. Thanks, Jim. If you have anything else, please hit us in the feed.
More interruptions.
That's my job. I'm interrupting you. Keep on going, John.
So these speakers are pretty awesome. In fact, these mounts they took a long time to engineer. This has got dual clamps on this speaker. And one of the reasons on the KMTC 9s and 11s, they are extremely heavy.
They are heavy.
I mean, this is a very, very serious speaker, and you just don't want to be screwing it to fiberglass.
I don't know if Ernie has his camera behind up and running tonight or not. I don't know what he turned on. But if Ernie's got his camera back there running, you need to get a little close-up shot of the head, the bunk on the head. And JW knows what I'm talking about, the bunk on the head. If you can get that, Ernie, great. If you can't, I understand. But there's a joke behind what John just said, and JW knows what it is.
If I remember, I think the 11s weigh 39 pounds.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Very heavy. And in fact, there's such a huge motor structure.
Oh, there it is. Look. Okay, so there it is. If you can see it, JW, he was actually mounting not the 11, but the 9 on our sample board we got back here, which we'll fire up in a little bit. You can see I'm pointing over here. But he had it on that bar, and he had it up there, and he went to reach for a couple bolts to secure the can in there. And as he bent his head down and he went to reach for the bolts, the entire bar he didn't have secured rolled forward, and that entire can smacked him right in the head. So,
And he's still with us.
bonk on the head. Don't know how long he passed out, but he was out for a little bit, I think.
Probably a while.
25 hertz to life. This ain't no Mickey Mouse program. Do they last in the sun?
Yes, they do. I mean,
Here's the thing I'm going to say, and this is a blanket statement, and thank you for asking that 25 hertz, is every product on planet Earth will eventually succumb to Mother Nature. I don't think we as human beings have found materials yet that will withstand Mother Nature at her best fury.
for eternity.
For eternity. So this is what I have, it's kind of a blanket statement that I've used for years. The speakers we build today, whether they are car speakers, or, they're designed to go in a car, which still have to deal with UV resistance. They still have to deal with moisture and condensation and all the issues in a car. This just happens to be an extreme environment that these are in because they're outdoor, they're exposed
Direct
most of the time,
sunlight,
direct sunlight,
saltwater,
saltwater spray,
beer.
fog, you name it. Cold beverages.
Yeah.
Cold beverages. Here's what I can tell you. We use the best materials, UV treatments, inhibitors in both the paint and the EPDMs and the Santoprines and the rubbers. Whatever's available today, we use the best materials, inhibitors possible to build everything in that speaker. The speakers that I build today and the enclosures we build today are better than what we built 4 years ago. And the ones we build 4 years from now will be better than the ones we built today as new chemicals, new treatments, and new processes are created to help prevent speakers and enclosures and surrounds and everything breaking down due to everything they're exposed to in an environment like that. That's the honest answer. They're built as good as they can. They're better than the ones
With
we
the
did 4 years
technology
ago.
available.
And the ones we do 4 years from now will be better than these because we are always on the leading edge and figuring out what is the new way to make these, stronger, faster, tougher, lighter, better, more durable. So hopefully that answers your question. Back to you.
So, in fact, the structure, the magnet structure, the motor structure on these speakers is so heavy, there's actually an internal brace on the magnet that actually bolts to the bottom of the mount too, just to support that because, that much weight over time and with, this type of enclosure, eventually it's going to, flex and crack and break the plastic. So
Exactly.
what we've done is we've tried to, basically see every single possibility of it failing.
Now, obviously, you've showed us on these are the TCs, so these are the tower mounts.
Yep.
They do the same 359-degree rotation.
Yep, they
and
sure
back.
do.
And is there something else that's unique about these?
Well, there's a couple things. Before we get to that, we
Okay.
also make them in an FC.
Okay.
The
I don't want to
flat
get John
mount.
to jump ahead. I didn't know
Yep.
he missed
Oh,
it.
we're going to get there.
Okay,
So,
all right.
Because there's a little different in the way that they mount and they work. So the FCs have this little hockey puck. So F being factory or flat mount.
Gotcha.
So if you've got, I think the Malibu uses the little, basically it's a puck welded onto the wake tower board.
Right.
That it can't come off. So these are designed to bolt right up to that factory mount.
Okay.
Or they do have a puck that mounts inside of their own that they come with that in case you want to mount it on a flat surface like we have here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So these are not removable. They're not, they actually can rotate 90 degrees each way because there's actually 4 bolts that go in to secure the speaker. But the cool thing about the mount here, the TCs, is not only do they swivel 359 degrees, but if you need to take them off, just take off the 2 screws and throw them in the bottom of the boat or the floor. That way you lose it. Pull this nice little,
It's live, folks. You
Yep.
never know what's going to happen.
pull the little brace out. Then you can literally grab onto the speaker and take it off.
All right, you step off to the side so that he can get a close-up of that, of everything there. So folks, what you can see here, and this is cool, and I'm glad John is showing this, is on the KMTC9s and the KMTC11s, that's the 9-inch horn-loaded compression tower system and the 11-inch, it is actually a connectorized, weatherproof connector that's built into the can and built into the bracket that literally you slide it on and slide it off, and that's what connects it. Now, the cool part about that is, number one, is when you're installing this, you don't have to hold a 39-pound speaker over your head and do all the wiring. You simply mount the bracket, do all your wiring for your LED and for your speaker wire. You get all that done, get your bracket secure, and that's done, and then you literally just slide it on, put the clamp bar over the front and tighten down the screws, and you've attached that speaker. So that's, from an installation standpoint, that's huge.
And a security standpoint, because they're not really hard to take off if you're going to leave your boat parked out in the open or you're going to store it.
And that's the second thing I was going to get to, is if you're, which, you know, a pair of KMTC 19 or 11s, those are $1,600 a pair.
$1,685, I think.
They might have went up since, yeah, they were 16. Inflation, who knew?
Yeah.
But the cool part is, if you park your boat in storage or you park your boat at home and you're worried about this, that with no tools and in a matter of 30 seconds, you can undo those nuts, you can slide that whole speaker off, and you can take it in the house with you or lock them in your car, your truck, whatever you do. They're easy to take on so that you can do the installation easier, and they're easy to take on and off so that you can secure them in an environment where you're worried about theft.
And something else people might be wondering about, the wire connections. You know, not only are they not going to twist off because of that locking, rotating enclosure, but those are what we call self-cleaning connections. So, you know, people say, oh, you know, if it's, you know, pulled off, the wire, you know, the connections are going to corrode in time. But what happens is the way the pins slide in and out, they actually self-clean. So if there is any oxidation, as they slide together, it actually cleans that off. They're called self-cleaning connections.
And there's
rather than just pushing them flat together, they actually slip in.
And they are a weatherized type connector, John.
Yeah.
There's some kind of rubber pack in there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
when they come together, it actually seals to keep
Yep,
water
once
and
they're
corrosion out.
in there, absolutely seals all the water out. And something else,
These are exciting products. I mean, I love that John's going over these, but I love the way they sound. I wish you guys could be here in the studio to hear these. They're fantastic sounding, but the application, what our
they're
engineers
some of
did
my
for
best
these,
sounding,
they're
my favorite
awesome.
sounding speakers.
I think they're awesome.
And the little logo on the back on these, you can actually take their screws out and you can rotate this logo.
So can up on,
360 degrees.
so you could, if you put the can up on
Yeah,
top
or
of
if
the
you put
tower,
them sideways, however you put
Gotcha.
them, you can actually take this back plate off.
Okay.
And then on the front, of course, same thing with this grill, it can be rotated and clocked by 8 different positions.
Okay.
But yeah, they're kind of heavy.
So real quick, I'm going to bring, while you're doing that, John, I'm going to bring this one up. This is from a little bit earlier in the show, but I felt it was a good question. Daniel Jenkins asked, what's the difference between the Spider having all the leads on one side compared to the old style across from one another?
There's pros and cons to both.
There's pros and cons to both, Daniel. What it really boils down to is in a balanced design, especially with a single voice coil speaker, you can either bring them out, both out one side of the Spider this direction, or you could do one out one side and one out the other. With a lightweight speaker that doesn't have big tinsel leads, whether the weight of all the tinsel leads on one side versus being equally shared on both sides, affecting the balance of the speaker, is completely open for debate. When you get into a lot of the larger drivers that have the bigger, heavier tinsel leads, you'll see in a lot of those designs we really try to bring the tinsel leads for a dual voice coil. You try to bring 2 out one side and 2 out the other, and that's just to keep the weight of those tinsel leads balanced so that one side of the Spider just isn't overly heavy. Think a lot about it like loading up the trailer. You know, if you're going to put a lot of weight in your trailer to haul it, you don't want to put all the weight on the right side of your trailer, because then your trailer will want to do this. It's kind of the same thing with a Spider, which is part of your suspension. If you put all the weight on the Spider over here, it can tend to make it want to do that. Lighter tinsel leads, usually not a problem. On our stuff, that's why we call the Nessie leads. We weave them into the Spider, and in a dual voice coil product, we bring 2 out one side and 2 out the other to get that weight kind of evenly distributed. So hopefully that answers your question. I know it was earlier in the show, but I felt that was worth putting up on the screen. So thank you, Daniel. And JW, if you have any others, man, feel free to throw them up there.
And while we're on that subject, and you brought up the Nessie leads, we did that because they're actually woven into the Spider, so they don't flop around and break. Like that was the problem with old tinsel leads. Is,
correct.
You know, when you got a wire suspended from 2 different points as the speaker moves, it creates a lot of turbulence in the wire. And eventually, those things fail.
And another kipism for you, that I call that loosen flopping.
Yep.
So you don't want your tinsel leads loosen flopping. So it's actually a German word, loosen flopping. So.
And that's pretty much the bulk of the marine product, other than the fact that these use that compression driver, and that's what we're going to talk about quite a bit. That's what makes these speakers so phenomenal, is the sensitivity. And we talk about, this is something that people, you know, it's 80% of the people get this wrong, so I'm just going to point out, there's a big difference between sensitivity and efficiency. So anytime you're rating a speaker in dB, it's not efficiency, because efficiency is power in versus power out. It's a percentage. Where sensitivity is how loud will it play with 1 watt. And the sensitivity on these speakers are 92 dB on the 9-inch and 93 dB on the 11-inch. So it's extremely loud for, you know, the amount of power. And that's usually measured at 1 watt, 1 meter, but that's not exactly what we're going to be doing here tonight. We're going to be measuring from a little bit farther than that, but that's kind of the whole purpose of what we're doing.
So stay there at that display so that you can point to parts maybe and talk about it. So what John brought up there is, he kind of went through the entire marine coax and marine can line, tower line. And if you just draw a line in the sand, there's really two distinct products that make up our marine line. There's what I like to, it's the conventional domed speaker products, and that would be like the KM64s, the KM84s, and when they come in the cans. And that is using your standard dome 3/4 inch or 1 inch tweeter, and on those titanium, right?
Yeah.
So those are titanium tweeters. When you look at those speakers and you compare them to the KMTC or FC 9s and 11s, it is a totally different animal, and those use what's called a compression loaded horn driver. And if any
high compression,
yeah,
HCLC.
Yeah. So if any of you have ever been to a nightclub, which I'm sure you have, you get into a bar or nightclub situation,
or any
where
outdoor music,
any outdoor music venue, band, it's very difficult to cover a large venue or to get over a high noise level with a conventional dome tweeter. It's just next to near impossible. It's hard to get the kind of output and coupling you need from that driver to overcome the distance, to fill the space, to pressurize and rarefy the air so that everyone gets a good listening experience on that, which is why they came out with compression loaded horn drivers. Now, I've got a bunch. John and I have been in the industry a long time, and even he and I sometimes needs to go to the drawing board, making sure we got some notes in front of us. And this is my notes in here for tonight.
Because this is a newer technology to what we've been doing, but
Correct.
It's been pretty amazing. And
So
we started doing this a few years ago with the KM6500s.
Yes.
Which had that 6-inch separate horn and then the 6-inch speaker.
Correct.
And we still offer those. They're still available online.
We do.
That's one of the best 6.5-inch woofers out there. I mean,
the best way I can, and I've always used I've either said this, bits and pieces of it, but I figured getting a printout here and be able to actually say this on the show and talk from paper would be the best way. I can read sometimes.
Some of those words are pretty big though.
But a horn, and we've got demos here to show this, and these are going to be fun. We're going to get to those here in just a few minutes. But a horn serves to improve the coupling efficiency between the speaker driver and the air. Okay, so the driver, which is that little 3/4 inch or 1 inch dome right there, or in the case of these, we use 1.4 inch drivers on those?
I think it's 1.6.
1.6. This 1.4,
So
1.6.
it's
Might be a 1.7.
big driver.
It's a big driver. Okay. The horn can be thought of as an acoustic transformer. It provides impedance matching between the relatively dense diaphragm material and the less dense air. The result is greater acoustic output from a given driver.
Up to about 10 dB, isn't it?
Up to about 10
That's
dB.
3 times.
So that lens, and so when we talk about a horn, they're behind there, horn kind of, everyone just looks at this as a horn, but there's the driver and there's the lens, and the lens is what's attached to the front of the driver, and the lens is what does this impedance matching. And it, like I said in this diagram, it takes the relatively dense diaphragm and couples it to the less dense air. And so what you end up doing is you've got a very dense item here moving at relatively large motions, and what the horn or the lens does is it couples that to the air, so you end up with a larger radiating area that's moving at less. And if you're familiar with like a transformer and an amplifier, you can take in volts, and you can either raise the voltage or lower the voltage, but if you raise the voltage, you're going to lose current, and if you lower the voltage, you can gain current. There is no free ride. The lens on a compression-loaded horn driver, or high compression is what we use on these, it's a trade-off. We're going to take the little bit of motion back here, or the lot of motion back here that's in a very small space, and we're going to acoustically go through this transformer, this lens, and it's going to make it be able to do smaller motions out here, but over a much larger surface area, and so it couples that driver to the air much better. And as John alluded, you can get up to 10 dB more output from a tweeter or a mid-range doing that. And guys, 10 dB, that's huge.
That's 3 times.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, to go 10 dB acoustically, what is that, 10 times the power?
Yeah.
So that's huge. So if your speaker can do a much better job efficiently at getting the sound out to you, that means you can do it with either less power, or you don't have to drive the speaker as hard, which means it's going to have lower distortion, it's going to sound better. But I thought there's no better way. This is probably the best way I've seen it written out and typed, so I just typed it down and put it down on here so I could read it.
Well, we probably need to describe how the compression works.
Go ahead.
Because since we're talking about high compression, well,
Absolutely.
how do you get the compression? Well, we take that 1.6 inch, diaphragm in the back, and we focus all its energy through about a 5/8 inch diameter. So it actually compresses that through that smaller opening, and then it's expanded from there. And that's what you call an HCLC, the high compression.
High compression.
Yep.
And then this, there is a company, and it doesn't matter who they are because we don't want to get into that contest, but the term Tractrix is a way to describe the shape of a horn. And because the term has been patented for use in a
Trademarked.
particular company's product line,
We used it for a while till they told us to stop.
yeah, they told us to stop. So, so we call ours. What's the name?
It's an exponential horn. That's
Thank
its
you.
actual, technical name is an exponential horn.
So to basically here give you a breakdown on it is an exponential horn, or the Tractrix. Okay, it is a nonlinear curve which a circle rolling on a straight line intersects perpendicularly at all times. So it's a very smooth, gradual, expanding out curve. And from my understanding, from a scientific standpoint, is it's designed to try to inhibit. First off, all horns have some beaming capability. All
speakers do.
Or all speakers do, including horns. And what a exponential horn attempts to do is to try to smooth out that high frequency response and get you more of an even response across the surface area of the horn. Because horns, if you get off axis of a horn, so if this is the plane of your horn and you get off axis of it, you can notice a significant drop in tweeter output.
They're focused.
They're focused and
Like
they're
a laser.
directional. So go ahead, John. I just wanted to throw that in there as we're talking about this.
And one of the other things that the exponential horn does, it basically is to stop, the wave reflections from, either side of the horn. So that's why they're not, perpendicular, just a square, horn.
Exactly. It's to go along with what John just said there, the idea is to minimize reflection of sound within the horn itself, because all things can resonate or have acoustic.
And all reflections
that all
are
do.
generally not, helpful.
It's designed to minimize it, resulting shape of the surface so that you get less distortion and more even frequency response. So there's a lot of design into the shape of our horn.
Oh yeah, I mean it wasn't just thrown off the shelf. And something else really interesting, you always knock about the horn sounds. I mean I used to do this growing up. Have a horn, it always sounds like this. Well, that's one of the things the exponential horn really defeats, is that typical horn sound that you get from just two solid beams. And these speakers sound incredible. They really are some of my favorite sounding speakers, and they are extremely loud. We didn't even mention the fact that the 9s and 11s, these all are rated at 300 watts at 4 ohms.
300 watts RMS power handling.
Yep, and that's a ton of output.
It is a ton of output. So there's definitely a line in the sand in our product line. We have the conventional dome speaker products, which consist of our KM64s and 84s. 64 being a 6.5 with a 3/4 tweeter, the 84 being an 8-inch with a 1-inch tweeter.
And the 4 being 4 ohms.
And the 4 being 4 ohms, yes. And then you move into the high compression loaded drivers down here, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. You're going to get more, literally, you're going to be able to project that sound out. And really with a product like this, for me, it's two camps of people. Number one, I'm pulling people on a rope, whether they're, you're towing them on a wakeboard, whether you're skiing, whether you're doing
so where do you want your sound?
A party tube, you're 50 to 75 feet behind the boat. There's an engine you got to overcome the noise on, and I want to hear my music out there.
That's
that
what these are
horn-loaded
for.
product is going to get that job done for you. The conventional dome product, are you going to hear it out there? Maybe, maybe not.
The boat's not running.
Yeah, if the boat's not running, you probably will. But with the boat running, the boat at speed, and the engine and all the other noise, no, you're probably not going to hear that conventional dome driver 50 to 75 feet behind the boat. And if you're into the party barge, you're in the party scene, or your idea of having fun on the weekend is you gather in the party cove, and you're tying all the boats together and having fun, yeah, those speakers, the horn-loaded compression drivers, the TC9s or 11s, that's your party speaker. It's going to get loud, it's going to get proud, and it's going to sound good doing
and
it.
you can direct the sound, where you want
You can
it.
direct the sound where you want, and we're going to show this in a couple demos, and this is where it's going to be, we got a meter here that's going to be, pretty black and white. This is what a conventional driver does versus
How
a
many feet away
horn-loaded.
is that?
We're about 36 feet away from the display
About
back there.
36.25.
Close. We're going to call it 36 feet and call it a day. But we're going to show you the differences in output between a conventional dome speaker versus a horn-loaded compression. And then we're going to do a couple of those audio tests I was telling you about in the beginning of the show. So if you've got some headphones or a home audio system or something better than just the speakers in your laptop or your phone, you'll be able to hear the differences between these two drivers. One is going to be off of a mic we've got clear up here with Tim, so we can hear the differences between these two speakers at a distance. And then we've got another one that is right up there that's about 6 feet off the board. And what that one's designed to mimic is, it's actually, the microphone is about ear level, and it's designed to mimic what you're going to hear as you sit in a boat. And so you'll be able to hear
Sounds like a good practical demonstration.
We try here. We try.
Yep.
So with that said, I do want to get in the demos. It's 8:46. We got a little bit of time to get the demos done. John, do you have anything else to add to the display?
Did the contest end?
The contest is over. We know who the winners are, but we won't announce them for a few minutes yet.
That's right.
So with that said, everyone, John, thank you for going through all that.
Oh, no problem.
If you guys have any questions that go beyond the scope of this show that we can't get answered here on the show, remember, you can always reach out to Kicker Tech Support.
Support at kicker.com.
Yeah, support at kicker.com is the email that'll
call
get you
Kip.
in. No, don't. If you call me, I won't answer. I'm too busy.
Yes, he is.
I am. But support at kicker.com, and those guys try to get back on those within 24 hours. Honestly, if you have questions, pick up a phone. Our phone number is 800-256-0808. We have guys here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Central Time, yeah, Central Time always. And they can answer any of these questions that you want answered. They know the product, and if they don't have the answers, the cool part about it is, well, they'll make up a good answer.
And you'll believe it.
But what they'll actually do is put you on hold or get your information to call you back, because if our guys don't have the answer, they have the greatest tool and utility belt they can do, and that's to get up, make a call, or walk downstairs.
Walk down to engineering.
And talk to engineering, so they can get you the answers.
I mean, a lot of companies don't have engineering staff in-house.
No,
so
they
that's what
don't.
makes us special. The fact that all this is done and designed and built here in-house.
Exactly. So,
and we got the guys that did it right here.
So with that said, we're going to move into our first test, and this test here is...
I hate tests.
Come on, this is going to be an easy test. You're going to pass with flying colors.
As long as I get my name right this time.
We've got an objective test here, which is we have an SPL meter that I'm going to have John...
What does SPL mean?
SPL is sound pressure level. So how loud is it?
How much pressure of sound is it putting at that level?
Correct. So here at the front of the studio, we do have this SPL meter set up here, and when we get to that point, Timmy will get a close-up on it with cam 1.
That was that.
Yeah, it's a burrito coming
bowl.
back home to roost. So we got the burrito set up right here. Or wait, no, the SPL meter. It thinks it's a burrito. We'll hear in a minute. So we've got this set up ready to go, and then, like I said, it's about 36 feet from this back to the display we've got set up back there. And this is real easy, guys. We have a 1200.2 amplifier. That's 300 watts a channel at 4 ohms, so that's what we're getting.
600 at 2 ohms. Full range.
Yeah, 600. It's a full range amp, but we're just running it. It's at 4 ohm side, so we're at 300 watts a channel. And on the, it'd be, when I'm up there, I might look at the camera. Left and right.
It's on there left.
On one side is a KMTC 9, and on the other side is a KMC 8.4. So we've got an 8-inch with a conventional dome speaker, and then we've got the 9-inch with the compression-loaded horn driver. And same power. We're going to take the radio, we're going to turn it up to a fixed volume level, and then for this test, we are literally just going to play pink noise. So when we start this test, I'll give Ernie a cue. He's probably going to bring my and John's mics down a little bit so you guys just aren't blasted with pink noise, because it's quite loud here in the studio. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with the conventional dome driver, and we're going to see what the reading, the max, this has a min-max on it. We're going to have John put it into max mode, and we're going to see what the max reading is for the 8-inch standard driver. And then without changing anything, I'm simply going to take the balance control on the radio and then go over to the can, and we'll see what the difference is, how much louder the can is up here versus the conventional driver. And when it comes to volume level, understand we're using the same power amp, the same amount of power, and you're going to see a change in the SPL level. Well, that change in SPL level is because that speaker is so much more efficient at getting sound into the air. And when you're out in a boat, electrical system, batteries, everything you got to deal with, sitting and parked, you're working off your house batteries, you want to get as much sound out of your speakers as you can without having to use big amp. Now, a 300 watt per channel amplifier is pretty big, but there are bigger. But we're getting a lot of sound out of the speakers at 300 watts.
The sensitivity of that speaker.
Correct.
I mean, talk about 93 and 94 dB sensitivity. So if you go from 94 down to 91, I mean that takes double the power.
Double the power. 3 dB is double the power. So if you guys are listening to a speaker at that level with 100 watts and you want to double it, it takes
3 dB.
3 dB, double the power.
And if you go from 91 down to 88, that's another doubling the power again.
So we just went from 100 to 200 to 400 watts, 400 watts because we had 6 dB difference in efficiency.
Yep.
So it is a game changer.
4 times louder.
And it does matter. So with that said, let's get into the demo. I'm going to walk back here to the display.
I got to do that, right?
I need you to do that. You remember what to do?
I do.
Okay. So folks, this is going to be fun. Hang on. We got this demo set up. We'll let John get this set up and run. I'll go back to the display, and then we'll get Timmy on the close-up camera so you can actually see what's going on with the meter.
Now, is he going to shut your mics off when you're trying to talk?
No, our mics are still on, but when we play the pink noise, he'll pull them down. So, and what's cool is I walk back here, I get to hear myself because Ernie's got me on the monitors back here in the studio.
And if you look up here, you can see yourself too.
That's true. Okay, so we got pink noise playing back here.
You're in 2 places at once, kid,
I am.
all the time. Wow.
Okay, so let me hit pause here. Sorry if I blast everyone out there in a la la land.
Yep. And local land too. I wasn't ready for that.
Okay,
Oh,
so we are,
I wasn't ready to be in the picture yet. The helping hands.
okay, so again, what we've got going on here. John, you got the meter on?
No, you didn't tell me.
Okay, well, here's the thing. When I point at you and you hit the max button, we all have to be quiet because I want to pick up this and not us talking.
All right, I'm going to hit the max button.
All right, don't do it yet. Hold on. Wait, you didn't hit it yet, did you?
No.
Okay, so everyone, here's what we got. We got the meter set up. John's going to put it into peak hold, which will hold the highest reading that comes out of that. We're going to start on the KM84, which is right here I'm pointing at. We're running it off the 1202. We're going to let it run for about 5 seconds to get a reading on the meter, and then all I'm going to do is go into the balance control on the radio and go from this speaker and go over to this speaker, and we're going to see what the difference is because it'll keep reading the peak reading. Once we peak out in here, we'll see how much louder this one plays.
And I like the way you picked the quietest speaker first, otherwise this wouldn't work.
Bingo, John, you're with
Ding,
me.
ding, ding, ding.
All right, Ernie, we're going to get ready to go here. So you ready on the controls? Okay, so let's rock and roll. I'm going to start the pink noise here. John, you ready?
Tell me when.
Okay, go. That's quite loud.
Even back here.
Even back here. So obviously I couldn't see the meter where I was at, John, but what did we have?
From 80.4 to 85.2, so about 4.8 dB.
So let's write that down real quick. 80.2.
80.4
80.4
to 85.2.
to 85.2. So
That's about 4.8.
4.8 dB.
That's almost 4 times.
So hopefully, yeah. Ooh, that was freaky. Okay, good, got that. So what that test was to show you guys, again, to reiterate what we've got going on here. We started off with the 8-inch coaxial that has a conventional dome, 1-inch titanium dome, 8-inch mid-range. Played it, we took a reading, and as John said, it came out to 80.4. Same amplifier, same power, just to balance on one side. And then we just moved the balance over to the other side, and we went up to 85.2. That's a difference of 4.8 dB. We didn't change the power amplifier. We didn't change the radio. All we did is we went from a conventional speaker to a compression-loaded horn driver. And that's how much more out, and as far as power goes, 4.8 dB, that's
quite a bit. That's
That's
3
quite-
dB is twice,
twice the power.
and this is almost another 2, so
It's almost 5 dB. If we were at 6 dB, it would be 4 times, the power
So
difference.
it's about 3 times.
So this is a fairly good size room. This room is, if I remember right, 80 by 50 is the size of the room here. We've got just that one speaker in this room creating that. And so if you don't mind, let's do a reset and let's do one more time.
All right.
The same test, but just
Just
one more time.
to prove it worked.
Yep, just to prove it worked.
I know. I had to reset it. I need-
You ready, John? That's loud. What do we get then?
You cheated at the end because you combined them, so it got louder.
What do we get?
I think it was 80.7 to 85.9.
Okay. So basically the same result.
Something like, I mean, that was pretty close. I may be a little bit wrong
Right.
on that, but I was watching the numbers and you changed it and that kind of deleted my memory bank.
So similar results. As you can see, we're looking high 4s, almost 5 dB of output more utilizing the compression loaded horn driver over a conventional speaker system. So that right there, that's benefit number one to using this technology in a ATV, UTV situation, a boating situation. You want him to come around? Yeah, come on around. Timmy's.
I didn't want to walk in front of the set.
A truck, when you're trying to do an outdoor, like if you're trying to have a party bed in your truck so that you're trying to have sound at a picnic, wherever you're going, these compression loaded horn type products are going to give you lots more output. It's going to be louder, it's going to be cleaner, it's going to cover a bigger area or a bigger distance without driving it as hard, which is why it's going to sound cleaner, not because you're not be taking your amplifier up into clipping and doing those type of things.
And we can't even brag enough about how good they sound.
Yeah, it's, you know, and this is the second part of the test that we're going to do here real quick. Living loud, is the tone change from more output or does it have a slight difference in sound? The tone change, Andy, is because there's so much more output out of that compression loaded horn.
And it's a different speaker.
Yeah, it's a different speaker. I mean, it's
got its own, you know, signature.
They're a KICKER product, so they have the KICKER sound, but the fact of the matter is you're going from a speaker that is 5 dB less output in that range that the compression loaded horn is covering. So you're
and
basically
certain frequencies, there may have been a much bigger difference.
There could have been more across the board. If we'd had an RTA, we might have even seen bigger differences at some frequencies.
We should have done that.
We could have. There's always the next time.
Yep.
So that's the objective thing. Now, John's sitting here, I'm sitting here. I know some people in the feed who have heard them. The first thing I'll say is these cans in person sound fantastic. They're clean, they're crisp, they got great sound. And we tried to think how we could get this into some way to show you how it would translate into actual applications. So this is what we've got going on now. I got a microphone that's actually up here by Timmy's camera, and it's designed to mimic what you would hear a long distance away from both of these products, whether it's the horn-loaded enclosure can or the conventional speaker can. So we're going to start with the distance test first, and this is going to show you what you hear perceived by your own ears through this test further away. So I'm going to go back and actually play
minus
music.
The wind noise.
Minus the wind noise. Keep in mind, that's the other thing is when you're out in a boat, if your noise level, if you're driving in this boat and your noise level around you is 95 dB, your system has to play 96 dB before you even hear your system being 1 dB louder than the noise.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, when you look at how
signal to noise ratio.
Signal to noise ratio. So, you know, the louder your environment, the louder your audio system has to be just to overcome it, because if your environment is 95 or 96 dB loud and your system plays to 87 dB, you'll never hear it. It will not make a sound.
Is that why woofers require bigger amplifiers, because of engine and road noise in a car?
If a horn-loaded compression driver is played in a forest but no one hears it, did it make a sound? Question of the day.
If a man does something wrong in the forest and there's no woman there to see him, did he do it wrong?
Ooh. That's some mansplaining going on right there. We're going to put that in the man glitter dust category.
That's better than manscaping.
Exactly. So we're going to use a song that we know we won't get in trouble with. We got the Kip Rap song. We're going to play that.
Really?
We're going to go between the conventional driver and the horn loaded, and I'll point at which one's playing so that you can know which one's playing. We're going to do the FAR test first. So Ernie, that'll be the black cable mic? Got you, sir. We're going to do the FAR test first, and after we get that done, we're going to do the close-up test. And the close-up test is meant to show you kind of like if I'm seated in a boat, if I'm seated in a boat, if I'm seated in a boat with my ears down at a normal height like that, and that's where the mic is sitting, is what do I hear in the boat? Is there a different sound between the two products? We wanted to let you just kind of get an opinion right here on the show. It's not going to be as good as doing it live and in person, but it's pretty darn close. So this is going to be the subjective test. What do you think?
And I get to sit here and listen, right?
You can listen, you can make a comment, you do whatever you need, John. I'm going to come back here and the monkey will throw the switch.
Which monkey?
Exactly, this monkey. So we'll do here, we're going to go to the Kip Rap. And we're going to start.
You're way back there. 36 and a half feet, right?
Yeah. I'm going to start back here. We're going to start with the conventional drivers. This will be the KM84, and you're listening to it on a microphone We were about 36 feet to the SPL meter, so you're probably looking close to probably 40 feet to the microphone that we're looking at there. And 40, I'll take John's word on it, 42. But this is to give you an idea when you're further away from the speaker what you're going to hear.
Welcome to KICKER UnMasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Delicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full till boogie. Delicious. Twisted tea. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that schmedium. Twisted tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Schmedium.
You know,
So-
Kip, I'm still pretty impressed with that 8.
That 8 is very impressive. But hopefully, that was the far field test, and we just went back and forth, the same song, same radio, same amplifier, and all we did was just move the balance from left to right and let you hear just the 8-inch by itself, and then just the 9-inch horn load compression
There was
driver.
a time when they were both playing.
There was a very brief moment as I crossed over that both were playing, but we did the best we could here with just the balance control. So Ernie and I listened to it earlier. There is a very big difference between how those two products sound. There's a perceived output level. There is a tonality difference because the horn is going to load up into the air. You're going to get more high end down to this end of the room.
And we did. I heard it.
And you did. John could hear it here. So if there's anything in the comment section there, JW, if anybody has a question about that or a comment, that'd be great for you to bring it up if they've got any. Buffer cringe. Oh, there must have been some buffering.
Low bit rate.
So the
Is that the best music you could find?
it's the music we can play we won't get in trouble for, because otherwise the IP police will come going, hey, where's our taste?
Push the limit.
So that was a far field test so that you can hear the difference between a conventional driver and a horn load compression driver. Now I'm going to go back to the display. We're going to do the same test again. Ernie, we're going to go to the red mic. Got you, sir. And this is meant to duplicate or mimic what would be if you're seated in a boat, your ears are down lower level, and the speakers are above your head firing out over you, and what you'd kind of perceive or hear in the boat. To give you an idea of what the two different speakers sound like in more of a close-up situation.
When I'm in the boat, I like them both playing.
When I'm in the boat, I like them both on with a koozie in my hand.
And an adult beverage.
That's my preference. And someone driving who doesn't have an adult beverage in
Yes.
their hands.
Or have had any before they started driving.
Correct. So same thing, we're going to play the same song again. And we will start with and just like before, we'll start with the conventional KM84, which is the 1-inch titanium tweeter and the 8-inch mid-bass / mid-range. We're going to start there.
Be sure you get that schmedium. Twisted tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Schmedium. Midler. Out in BFE. Out in BFE. At the end of the day. Full. Good evening, everyone.
Tuesday. Full Tilt Boogie. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Kippolicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full Tilt Boogie. Kippolicious. Twisted Tea. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that schmedium.
Sounded the same up here.
It sounded the same over here. It sounded different on that mic than that mic.
By the way, I'm disappointed.
What?
You didn't play the quad box with them.
We can do that.
I haven't seen a boat with the quad box yet. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge for that contest. Here he goes. I opened my mouth.
Maybe. I don't know if the amplifiers are on.
See what I started?
If it's the input, yeah, the inputs are the output from the amp needs to be plugged in.
Oh.
It's right here.
There you go, John.
Technical support, come help the...
Yes, when you have troubles, call Jeremy. He's got your number.
Should be it.
I was just commenting on the
they on
quad box.
mute?
I forgot that we actually had the same speakers. There we go. Hooked up above
They should
it.
be unmuted now. There we go.
We have bass.
Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes.
That quad box sounds good.
It does. That's why I wanted to hear it. It won't fit in any of my cars. Well, it probably would fit in one of them.
That quad box sounds really good.
I can't wait to hear it in the Fiat.
So, as always, you know, it's funny because in the song, I try to keep the show to 90 minutes. We've already blown 9 minutes past that.
And you haven't even finished.
And haven't finished. But we're done. We're close. We're going to wrap it up.
We got to give some stuff away.
We're going to give some stuff away. But hopefully tonight's show gave you guys kind of a good overall view of the loaded enclosure can type product that we make. And it's not just for marine use, although, you know, a lot of this stuff does go in boats, but a lot more of it goes into ATV, UTV, bike. Broncos, cars, trucks. I mean, a lot of people are utilizing this product, and what they're looking for is to get great sound in a much larger environment. I mean, someone I'll give a shout out to is Sean over at UTV Stereo. They've got I think it's a Cube, if I remember right. It's a little van type thing. He's got a quad box in it.
Nissan Cube.
With a pair of 11s in the back, twisted forward. I've yet to hear it. He's reached out to me and said it's obnoxious. He says it's crazy how loud it is inside that little thing. I bet it is.
Inside?
Inside? Yeah, this is inside. He's got a quad box with a pair of 11s. So we thought, so we thought this would be a good show. kind of give you some both objective and subjective measurements on the two different types of technology. Hopefully you guys can hear this on a good set of headphones or good system. You could hear the difference between the products. You could hear the different loudnesses. You could definitely see it on the meter, which is what we wanted to show you. You know, playing pink noise, which is all that equal energy at all octaves, you're able to actually see on a meter.
Sounds like static.
Sounds like a bad radio station.
Actually sounds worse than a bad radio station because it's wider.
It is wider band. So, great topic, John. Thank you for being here for this tonight.
It's always been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to do that with
And
you.
you didn't leave me hanging tonight.
Didn't leave you hanging.
You actually preempted it.
Do you have anything to add into this before we roll out into the contest winners?
Nope. Get ready for some winners.
I got to stop this or we'll get the copyright police on us.
Oh, yeah.
That song will get the copyright police on us.
Yeah, they'll actually shut us down.
Yeah, they'll go, hey, what are you guys doing? All right, well, John, with that said, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for doing it with us. I
Thanks for
appreciate it
dinner.
as always. Oh, yeah, John's just in it for the food. That's what I know for him.
Burritos and bowls.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Yeah, you know, that's it right there. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show as far as the meat of the show, which is going over that product, showing you those few demos. We had a good time doing it.
And while we're doing the giveaways and the comments, I haven't seen anybody, post what they heard, what the difference was, what they thought.
If you find any good comments on that, Jeremy, in the next few minutes, post them up there. But what we're going to do while you're doing that is we've got some winners. We need to announce the winners. We need to go. We've got the weekly contest that we're giving away.
We have a couple winners and a lot of runners-up.
A lot of runners-up. But third place, second place, grand prize. Bill, if we got winners?
You won't be able to see it now.
Yep, we got them. Okay, as we said in the beginning of the show, third place is EB300s. The koozies are back. You're going to get the Kicker koozies and the limited Unmasked Kicker t-shirt. That's going to be our third place winner tonight. Second place, you're going to step up to a set of Tabor 2s, the koozies, and the shirt. And our grand prize winner tonight.
Steak knives.
Steak knives. No, we're not going to give you steak knives, but apparently, hey, it's better than the pink slip, I guess,
Yeah.
if that was John's two choices. But we're going to let you choose from the KMTC 65s or TC8s in a flat mount or a tube mount. Your choice of color. You're going to win a pair of those tonight. I think that's a great prize.
What if they want green?
Do what?
What if they want green?
Well, they can make the LEDs green.
Yeah, but
Well, if they want the can and the speaker grill green, it's called Krylon.
Yeah.
They got it down at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can go check it out.
Is that UV resistant?
Not gonna. The plastic version may be. I don't think anything out of a spray can is going to be as UV resistant as the
No.
coatings we put on these. So I'll say that. So with that said, Bill, give us number 3. Oh, he did. There it is. Winner number 3, Uriel C from Missouri.
Mizzou.
Mizzou.
Yep.
Uriel, thank you for tuning in and watching the show tonight. You're getting those EB300s, the Kicker koozies, and the t-shirt. Instruction for all of our winners. We need you to answer an email that will come to you tomorrow from Bill Frog himself. In that email, we need you to give us your shipping address, cannot be a P.O. box. We need you to give us a phone number. Sincere when I say this, we will not use your phone number for any marketing purposes, but it doesn't matter how we ship your prize to you, whether it's UPS, USPS,
They always want a
DHL,
phone number.
FedEx, Carrier Pigeon Incorporated, they want to have a phone number so they can reach out to you in case they can't find you or need to arrange for you to pick up your shipment at their hub. So give us your phone number. It goes in the shipping. Promise it's not used for any other purposes. And last but not least, we know sometimes people get the wrong selection of the shirt because you're in a hurry. It's a drop-down list. We don't want you getting a medium. We want you to get the right size that you want. So please send us and confirm your shirt size. So Uriel, thank you for tuning in tonight. You are our third place winner. Bill, who's number 2 tonight?
Winner number 2.
Anthony S. from Michigan. Wow, we had Michigan winners a couple weeks back. Had some Pennsylvania winners. We're hitting all that part of the country. So Anthony S., you are our second place winner tonight. Same instructions for you on the shipping address. No P.O. box. Need your phone number and confirm your shirt size in the email from Bill tomorrow. You're going to get the Tabor 2s. You're going to get the Kicker koozies, and you're going to get that unmasked T-shirt. As long as you confirm your size, we'll make sure it fits you.
And we didn't mention that Canada is included in this drawing.
Oh, I forgot to say it at the beginning of the show.
You left
they
them
know.
out.
I left them
Well,
out. They can get
The
in.
people that have been watching already
They know.
but the new guys, yeah, you're included.
They know.
So
I need to add
there's
that
still
to-
a chance you can win up there.
I'll add that to next week's notes again. So Anthony S., thank you for tuning in and watching that. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your prize. Thank you for watching Kicker Unmasked Live weekly. And then that brings us to our grand prize winner, which is a set of the cans, 6.5 or 8. Your choice of color, your choice of mount, the shirt, and the koozies. That's a good prize.
It is.
All in your honor.
Hey, can we make it better?
How are we going to make it better?
I'm just asking.
If you run into John out in the public, he'll take you and get you an adult beverage. That'll make it better. John, and he'll tell you more dad jokes than you want to hear.
Probably.
Yeah, I guarantee it. So with that said, Bill, Who's our grand prize winner tonight? Number 1.
This is how we make it better.
This is how we make it better. Tonight's
This is
grand
how
prize
we
winner,
do it.
Wesley P. from California. Congratulations, Wesley. You are our grand prize winner tonight.
West Coaster.
Yeah. Look for that email coming from Bill tomorrow. If you're super anxious, any of our winners, you are more than welcome to reach out to social@kicker.com tonight. Get an email on the way if you want. But Bill will be getting emails out to all 3 of you tomorrow. Please reply. We very rarely have this as an issue, but we do have a 7-day window on claiming your prize. So if you are a winner, you get an email from Bill. Please reply. If after 7 days we don't hear from you, we just pull another winner and send them the prize package out. So with that said, John, you got anything to add?
Nope, it's been a great show.
It's been a fantastic show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget that we have the MBE Enclosure contest going on. That's kicker.com/giveaway. And we also have the Get Your Ride, Your Picture, whatever, in the Kicker catalog. Started tonight. It'll run for 12 days. We'll then close the contest. We'll draw our winners. That's kicker.com. Burrito's coming back.
Apparently.
Kicker.com/contest.
So
we got
the Master Tech contest.
That's already picked, drawn, and won.
That's what I thought.
That's the Master Tech Expo. We do have a winner for that. He will be joining the team out there in March. As we get closer to that event, we'll get him probably on a live show and talk to him a little bit. And
that'll be awesome.
Get his experience.
I'm looking forward to
before.
Brian's show.
His experience. Are you going? You're going to the show.
As far as I know.
Yeah, you're going. You're going. I'm going. We're both going.
One way or another.
One way or another, we're going to go.
Luggage or something.
We are definitely going to go. And look forward to, obviously, this week is SEMA. This weekend is the Showdown Show. We're going to have our good friend Steve Barber from Sharton on 'em join us next week. We're going to do a little download and a debrief, hopefully some pics and some videos of that show. Going to be some great content. So with that said, as always, it's my pleasure to be the host up here trying to keep the train on the tracks. John, thank you for joining me tonight. I'll give you one more so I don't leave you hang. Tim, he had his butt working tonight behind the cameras. Thank you, Tim. You did a fantastic job. Ernie back there on the switcher. I know we always keep you busy with our different requests. I appreciate you, brother.
Don't
Thank
forget
you.
Jeremy coming in and hooking up the input.
JW, getting the inputs right on the quad box. Appreciate you, man, and bringing up all the comments, making sure StreamYard goes off without a hitch. And Bill, as always, thank you for being in the social feed and answering questions. And I got to give a special shout out, as always, to our own Living Loud, Andy McGill. That guy, he just reached the 10,000 member mark on the Kicker Club, which is huge.
That is awesome.
And he's always here on the show. We actually live stream this concurrently through his Kicker Club feed over on YouTube, or Living Loud with Andy feed, actually, not on Facebook, but on YouTube. And so we appreciate having Andy in the feed. Andy, thank you for joining us. You are a true gentleman and a scholar, and we are blessed to have you join us.
True Kicker fan, if there ever was one.
True Kicker fan, if there ever one. So tonight, it's actually 6 of us and not 5. The 6 of us are here representing the 200-plus employees right here in the heartland of America, Stillwater, Oklahoma. Stillwater Designs and Audio, or as you know us, Kicker. Hope you guys have a safe and fun week. Look forward to the weekend. Whatever you're going to do, be good at it and enjoy it. We look forward to seeing you here next Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time for Kicker Unmasked. Big 52 going to be in the books next week. We hope you join us. Everyone,
that sounds like an anniversary kind of.
Kind of is. Never know what we're going to do. Stay tuned. Got to see you.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Good night, all. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.